All right, so I figured while I'm waiting on engine stuff, I can at least test out all the electronics of the cars because theoretically, all the interior electronics should still work. Power seats should work, the blower motor should work, the lights in the door when you open it should work, the radio should work, it all should work. So I figure I'll go ahead and test it. So I've got a battery here that I'm borrowing from my neighbor right now, and that's what we're gonna do. Is we're gonna power this thing up, and we're gonna see what happens. And I have not pre-powered it up, so we're both gonna be learning what happens as it happens. All right. All right. So first things first. Let's just touch the ground. Oh, by the way, let me show you what I did temporarily, right? So I got some battery cables. I got a positive here, and then it's running up to my little distribution block thing up there in the corner. So remember how I said that pretty much powers the whole car. So I've got power going to it, and then I've got a ground. There's a little ground stud that I welded on the frame over here. So let's see what happens here. Let me go ahead and loosen this. Oops. Ooh. All right, so first let's just touch it. Okay, nothing happened. That could be a good thing. No explosions is a good thing, right? Okay. Let me just make it kind of loose for now because we don't need any high current right now. We're not going to start the motor or anything. Okay. So at least there's no fires. Step one, good. So now I've got my handy dandy multimeter, and the battery was charging all night, but just to be sure, let's go ahead and take a voltage reading with it hooked up. Actually, let me do it right on the wires so I know exactly what they're getting. 12.77. I don't know if you can see that. 12.7. So that's pretty good. All right. So now I think the first thing that we're going to do is go inside and see if the radio works. Okay, so if everything's good, I should get some lights on the door, I think. Aha, look at that. And yes, the reason that the door panel is all apart is because I was having window regulator issues. So that's another thing I'm gonna be working on. Okay, I got a light over there. Let's look at the back. I think there's lights on the back too. Yep, look at that. Neat. Oh, yeah, up in there. Very stylish. Okay. Let me close the trunk because it's got an electronic popper motor. Oh, yeah, that works. I heard it click. That's good. Good, good, good. Very nice. Hopefully the keys are in here. Aha, yes, they are. All right, let's get up in this thing. Okay, first time turning the car on with electronics after doing all that. Let's see what happens. Oh, hey, whoa, all right. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. I have to service my electrical system. What do you know? I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Coolant temp fan, that's fine. My fuel is empty. Well, one, it makes sense because it actually is empty, and two, it makes sense because that plug is disconnected back there. Here, let me turn this all the way down for now. Service air conditioning, man, that makes sense, you know. Whatever. Put that up there, and let's see. What happens if I turn the... I can't really reach through here with the phone. What happens if I turn the motor, blower motor on? High fan. Auto fan. Off. 75. I wonder if that's the interior temperature, because I know there is an interior temperature sensor. So if I do econ, that's not working. That's a problem for later. Lights won't work because they're not hooked up. Let's see. Let's pop the trunk. Let's see. Yep. That works. So that's awesome. Alright, now let's see. I'm happy that the speakers work. That's nice. I'm gonna have to figure out how to use this radio. Now, whatever. But it works. It works, so that's good. Let me turn this down. That's awesome. Trunk pop works. So far, everything looks like it works. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank it and check for voltage on my starter wire and check for voltage on my ignition relay, that little relay I set up, and make sure that while cranking I still have 12 volts, because that is important. Alright, so I've set up my handy dandy multimeter right there on the cowl, grounded it just to right here, whatever, you know, and got my positive lead going down there to where my starter wire hopefully is. Then I've got this wire on the ignition relay stripped and ready to go. So first, let's test that starter out. Okay, so again, we have electronics at the on setting. All right, here we go. Hey, look at that. Start it up and come back down. All right, now turn this off again. Let's go swap that wire from that starter wire to the little ignition wire. Boop. Okay. All right. Okay. I like to, when I get a multimeter, I like to put these alligator clips on my leads. It makes things way easier sometimes. Just do that. All right. So again, that's going up to this relay right here. So right now it should have power. Let's see. Can you see? Yeah, 12.1. So let's see what happens when I crank it over, because, you know, I won't show you the multimeter yet, but when you crank it over, see how some electronics die? We don't want that when we're trying to power up, or when we're powering our ECU and we want the engine to start, right? So let's see what happens here. Starting, and we still have power. Heck yeah, so that's good. All right, that is awesome. And now what I have to do, like I said, I was having some window regulator issues, so I'm gonna need to figure out what's going on with those. It kind of stinks because all four doors were having window up down issues, and I've looked online. You cannot get regulators for these cars anymore, unless it's maybe used off eBay or a junkyard or something. But do I really trust a used or junkyard regulator? I don't know. Hopefully the regulators are good. Maybe I just had a weak battery before or something, or maybe I just need to re-grease them. But that's what I'm doing. And I'm also finding that this line was actually off. This is the driver's door, and what this actually does is it moves the linkage for the little lock unlock switch on the door. So I didn't even realize that that wasn't working before, but now that I've reconnected it, it's working. You know, I'm gonna go through all four doors and just check stuff out. And actually, let me go ahead and operate this window and see what happens, because I did already take a look at this regulator and it looked okay. It looked intact. I put some grease in some places, so let's see if that did anything. Okay, so yeah, I just started the video to show you all about this stuff, and the blower motor just kicked on. I don't know if you can hear that. Huh. Okay, so the blower works. Anyways, so check this out. So I go up. Uh-oh. Go down. Up. So I think the regulator itself might be okay. I think the motor may have a stripped tooth or a like a broken tooth or something like that, and I think when that tooth reaches a certain spot, it doesn't have the oomph to move the window anymore. I hope the regulator itself is good because you can't get those anymore. And if the motor itself is bad, if the gear is bad, then I guess that's okay because you can buy new motors. At least for the driver left side. I'll have to experiment what's going on with all the other three, but I guess I'm doing that today. Let me turn this fan off. Okay, so it turns off. That's good. That was weird. I had the ignition on for a little bit, and all of a sudden it just cut on. Maybe it just needed a few minutes to reset. I don't know, but that's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can get this motor out of here and inspect the teeth and see what might be going on. Okay, now we're over here. Let's get this motor off this regulator. Go get my hammer and punch. Punch these guys out. We won't be needing them anymore anyways. 1, 2, 3. Oh, here it is. Alright, so now what I need to do, the gears on here look okay. The gears on there look okay. The teeth in here, I mean, they're all present and accounted for, but I don't know if they might be too worn down because I don't have a new one to compare it to. They are all there. So I think what I'm going to do is plug this back into the door and then actuate the switch up and down. If it spins all the way around constantly, then I know it's not the motor, then it's got to be the regulator, which would suck. Maybe I just need to put more grease all in here and in here, because I couldn't get this area. Maybe it just needs more grease. I don't know. I mean, it might, because let's see, it was like that, so it'll take the window up. It'll take the window up, but when it goes down, it gets stuck. So this works, but it might, I mean, it is kind of tough, so it might just need to be re-greased. All right, let's go test this motor with power at the door. All right, so I've got the motor connected back. I've got this connected back. I've got the battery on. Okay, we've got electrics. Ah, look. Ah, there's our problem. It's the motor. Okay. So, driver door issue solved. Buy a new motor. 3 more doors to go. Alright, so I took all the other door panels off, and turns out everything else is actually in good condition. The passenger window went fully up and down. It was just kind of slow, so I greased everything up, made it a little bit faster. The passenger windows, I thought were not going down all the way, but in fact they were. So you can kind of see, I think right here, there's a line in the dust on the window. It actually only goes down that far from factory, because when it goes down that far, the what's it called, the regulator was actually maxed out. So both rears were good, the passenger front was good, and luckily I found a local window motor, O'Reilly's. So here's the old one, here's the new one. I got it on, it came with some new hardware, and then for attaching it into the door, so that's awesome. And we're just gonna go ahead and put it back in. I got the regulator all cleaned up with fresh grease on it. This piece seems like it's still in good condition, which is good, because I heard a lot of the aftermarket ones that you buy to replace these suck. So I'm glad that that's still in good condition. All right, let's go. All right, so I got the driver window motor back in. It's all back together, all good to go pretty much. So I know you know what power windows are like, but just gotta, woo, man. Yeah, baby. All right. Just need to clean it up a little bit. Found a radio station that I was able to get signal in my garage, and all the speakers work. It's crackly because of the signal, but yeah, everything works. I'm pretty excited, honestly. So let's see. Low fan. For some reason, the blower motor takes a little bit to turn. Pretty sure this is, like I said, an interior temperature. But if I hit high, yeah, see, it's not going. It takes a bit. I don't know why. Anyways, thanks for watching. So now I've verified pretty much all the electronics work. Oh, I did the windshield wipers too. Those are good. Turn signals, actually, where is it? Right here. Stays on solid, but I think it's because all of the front end stuff is not wired in, so there's no front turn signals, no headlights, and high beams, nothing. I think that's why I'm having a turn signal issue, and I'll just have to wait and see, you know, when I get the front end all put back together. Okay. Again, thanks for watching, and yeah, it's coming along. The engine's next. The engine is next.
I cannot wait.